Okay, David Moyes, West Ham manager, departs after just 6 months in charge. Very much like Sam Allardyce. In fact, it's a pretty identical situation. I think both managers can feel hard done by. David Moyes, 31 games as West Ham boss, 10 draws, something like, um, 9 wins, 10 draws. 37 points in 31 games for West Ham. What more did I expect? For standout results to me from his time in charge is for 3-0 loss at home to Burnley. Yes, that was terrible, but other than that, they've had, on the whole, a steady season. This is all about stability, just like Everton. After Bilic left, West Ham were on a downward spiral. And yeah, the appointment initially of Moyes was seen as uninspiring by a lot of supporters, but he came in and he did the job. Yes, he had a nightmare at Sunderland last season. I don't think even the likes of Sir Alex Ferguson with that Sunderland squad would have struggled. It was a bad job for Moyes to take on. And since he's lost Everton, he's had a bit of a rough time. But this season was a bit of a saving grace for him. It wasn't fantastic, but he came in and he did the job that he was brought in to do. So, there's been rumours that is it Fonseca from Shakhtar or whoever it is being lined up to replace him. He's got no experience of the Premier League. It's a gamble. They could have kept Moyes on. Again, like Allardyce, as I keep on saying, they could have kept Moyes and he could have brought in the players that he wanted to bring in next season. He was working with a squad that's largely not his own this season, and he's kept them up in the end quite comfortably. For last result, 3-1 win against Everton, they were playing for the manager. There's been protests more against the board than the manager, and I just feel like here we go again for managerial merry-go-round. Probably get Mark Hughes in a few months. Probably Moyes will go back to Everton. Maybe Allardyce will come back to West Ham. It's just managers are just not given enough time, and it's you can feel very hard done by. He got the best out of Marko Arnautovic. He had some aging players like Zabaleta, Patrice Evra, Mark Noble. He could bring in his own players next season. Joe Hart's form hasn't exactly been great, has it? And Moyes didn't bring him in on loan. And you look at that, 29% win. Not great, but what did they expect? They weren't expected. At the start of the season, they were expected to break into the top 10, but Bilic had left them in a bit of a mess. I think, actually, I don't think Bilic should have been sacked in the first place. A bit of a controversial opinion, but I think he should have been given a little more time. I mean, look at that. West Ham finished 9 points clear of the drop zone after earning 7 points out of the last 9. What more did I expect? Any West Ham fans watching this, what are your views on here? You've got stats like these of previous Premier League managers. The expectations were higher. The Premier League was different. It wasn't as difficult to break into the top 6 when Harry Redknapp was West Ham manager. You didn't have all the money being pumped in like there is now. It's a lot harder. Finishing anywhere near 7th place in the Premier League now for any team other than the top 6 is a good achievement. What else could David Moyes have done? They finished on 42 points. You probably find the Watford manager is going to be sacked as well, and Eddie Howe just 2 points ahead of West Ham. He's not going to be sacked. Roy Hodgson as well. Okay, it was different scenarios, but Moyes was brought in to steady the ship. That's what he's done. And Former Man City boss Manuel Pellegrini. Why would he want to take on the West Ham job? Why would he? If I was him, I wouldn't want to. Rafael Benitez. Why would Benitez leave Newcastle to join West Ham? Yeah, he's got if the owner's a bit dodgy, Mike Ashley, but then they're much better at West Ham. I wouldn't have said so. I think Benitez should stay where he is. Get Mike Ashley to give him some funds, as easy as that is to say. So yeah, David Moyes. Who do you think should replace David Moyes? I think he did a decent job. He got them playing some good football. And what more could he have done? What would have kept him in his job? I'd like to know in the comments section. So let me know your thoughts, and I look forward to seeing them.